Hello, this is GH Tech Productions, and this is the first 3DS versus PS Vita round. Now I'll be doing a series of them. Well, not a series, but probably part 1 and part 2. First of all, we're going to start off with the hardware. Now, of course, you see your modern 3DS, sorry. It does have a glossy finish, 2 3D cameras, making the 3D effect, and the indicator, and the notification indicator. The LNR buttons, the stylus, the game cartridge, the infrared sensor, the charging port, and all these little clips for the docking station. Headphone jack, volume slider, SD card slot built in 2 gigabytes, wireless glide thing, 2 indicators, charging and power and charging. And on the inside you do have a 0.3 megapixel camera, front facing and rear facing, both 0.3 megapixels, so not very high quality, but take a snapshot if you don't really have any kind of camera thing on you, as well as it does take a video at 240p, I believe, or 240i, or whatever it's called nowadays. It does have 360-degree analog stick, which is kind of pressed in, which is nice. It does have the D-pad, which is slightly getting worse on each of the DS models, I find. So it's kind of not very good. 3.5-inch display, kind of taking over the crystal black kind of glossy finish that goes around the whole screen in the display. Really clicky A, Y, X, and B buttons. Really clicky, kind of effusive in response. Not unresponsive, but they kind of refuse your, like, when you hold them down, they're trying to get up, and they kind of give me blisters on my fingers, actually. For gameplay such as racing, where you have to hold down the A button, like in Mario Kart, you have to hold it down, it kind of gives me blisters on my thumb. The power button, select, start, and home. Now, I find it to be a very good looking model, easily the best looking DS. It's slightly thicker than the DSi, but a little bit shorter in length. And yeah, basically that is the hardware of the DS. Now the PS Vita. PS Vita does have a front-facing camera right here, 0.3 megapixel, 0.3 megapixel right here. Just want to get a hair there. It does have a 5-inch OLED display rating at 900 to 544 megapixels. In HD resolution. It does have a D-pad, not broken up, so it does actually give you more of a directional focus on things, which is nice. It does have dual analog sticks, which are not little nubs. They are more out, but they do not have a tactile response. It does have a home button, which is pretty nice. As well, it does have start and select buttons, which are kind of jammed into the device, so it's pretty hard to click, actually. And these buttons, which are slightly smaller than the PSPs, but they're really nice, and they're not effusive in response. It does have the metallic up and down buttons for volume, which is pretty nice. It does have the accessory port, which I'm not sure for, the game port, and the on and off port, and the on and off switch. 2 LNR triggers, which are nice, and rear touchpad, which I'm not sure. I think it's pointless, personally. It's just a feature that doesn't have to be on. The little pads, kind of plastic, that are supposed to hold your hand and grip. It does come with the proprietary charging port, the 3.5mm headphone jack, and the memory card slot as well. That's basically it. Nothing on the sides. It does come with the speakers, which are slightly loud, and they actually do provide very good audio, I personally think. Yeah, so basically that is hardware-wise. Personally, for me, things that come in the box is going to have to be my next one. So this does come with a built-in 2 gigabytes of memory and a kind of a little bit of internal storage, so you can keep it and save your games, which is pretty nice. So it does have SD card slot, is not proprietary whatsoever. Just I slid in 4 gigabyte from my DSi, and it's really nice. Yeah, so overall you do get your stylus, which comes with the DS. You do get you don't get dual styluses, which you used to get with the original DSs, but you do get the one. You do get the built-in storage and a few built-in applications that you can do with AR cards as well, which is pretty cool. It comes with a few kind of gyroscope sensing games, which is pretty awesome. It does come with 3D, which is a pretty cool thing to do. It does come with a sort of proprietary, you can say, because it doesn't work with the original DS Lite, or the DS, Game Boy Advance, and the original DS, but it is usable for the DSi and the DSi XL and the 3DS XL, which just came out recently. Now the charging port that did come with it does give you availability for your headphone jack. Not sure totally, and of course your slot for that. However, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure what that's supposed to do, because when you slide it on, you click in a game or something. I don't know who's going to be playing something like this. Like, are they going to be holding the charging dock? It doesn't make sense to hold it. And are they going to be lying it down and playing? No, that'd be uncomfortable. So, I don't know if that's a game choosing slot thing, but whatever. Now, things that, and, what's the next thing I'll have to say? Now the last kind of category I'll have to say for this round will definitely be the games. Now, the games are definitely, like, in comparison to physical features and components, they are definitely nothing alike, at all. 3DS game cartridge is kind of a little bit bigger. It is nice though. It's taking on a white feature. It does have a little nub there, so you can insert it into the DSi or anything. It didn't make it smaller, however, which is odd because these guys went from the PSP Go, which is only download capable, or UMD drives, which they used to use for the original PSP, which is a little disc. They used a little. They're smaller than SD cards, and they just click in like SD cards. Now, the game library, I would have to say, is way better for the PS Vita, just because they have Uncharted, and they have Capcom, they have Mortal Kombat, they have a whole bunch of different racing games, they have Wipeout, they have Resistance, they have Unit 13, they have Black Ops 2 coming out, they have Assassin's Creed coming out. And now, remember, there could be some multi-platform titles, however, they're not going to be nearly as good on the PS, or on the 3DS wise. So, for hardware, I'll have to say, the PS Vita, when you open a lot of its slots, it's like this. It has that little kind of thing you can just rip off, which I'm not a big fan of at all. The game cartridges, okay, so the hardware, I'll have to give it to the PS Vita. It does not have a clamshell, so it protects its screen and buttons. However, the screen buttons, like the little rim around the 3DS, does kind of cut the scratch the 3.5-inch display when you close it, because the rubber nubs that don't hold it, they don't stop it from hitting this little rim on the touchscreen. So that kind of annoys me. It does cut, so that's kind of bad, and it's kind of generic. You want something new. I don't really care for something new, but PS Vita definitely takes a charge. It's not too big at all. I feel like it's not too thin, not too thick. It's perfect size. Now, if you made a PS Vita Slim, it'd be probably worse. It'd be cool to have a bigger battery and internal storage. However, that's really the only thing they can upgrade, because they can't really slim it down, because then it'll just slip out of your hands. They made this a perfect width. It may look a little thick, but it fits comfortably in your hands. Now imagine if you were to have the PS3 or PS Vita hand grip. That would be interesting. Now, I'll have to give the PS Vita a win for that. However, what comes inside the box, this definitely wins with internal storage and docking station as well, with a few built-in applications and AR cards. This does come with AR cards. However, you have to purchase a lot of the AR games, the augmented reality games as well. You have to, they do come with demos, but the demos are not full. However, this is, I mean, they have a few games. It's just little games, and these are better for augmented reality gameplay, but the purchasing feature does kind of bum you out. Now, paying $19.99 for the dock, I don't mind, but I'm not a big fan of. The dock does come with the proprietary jack, but it also comes with a line out for auxiliary, which is pretty sweet. And it does look a lot nicer than the cradle for the 3DS. But what comes in the box, I'll have to give the 3DS one. So far, it's 1-1 for them. Now, as soon as this battle ends, it'll only be 1. So, what's the next one? Games, I'll have to say the PS Vita wins. So this wins round 1. So I'll see you guys next. PS Vita is winning. It's 1-0. There you go.